And sets another day. Billions will kneel and pray. Anything to aid escape from the world.
Welcome to another episode of Bones and Tubs.
That's a good bro.
We are here on this fair Tuesday morning. It's raining out right now, unfortunately, but I think we can dig it.
I feel like that's all it does anymore is fucking rain.
Yeah, but we're here. It's May. It's still kind of fucking cold out, but that sucks. But we've been scouring the nets for topics with you guys. You know, you did send us a bunch of topics. We got a new contributor this week that I'm excited about. Hopefully he'll keep sending us topics. I hope we picked his name for him, but hopefully he likes it. But before we got... Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say it's good that we get more because we're all about diversity here.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
But before we got started today... Bones put up a discussion topic on our Facebook page, and we wanted to talk about that a little bit before we dived into like the topics that you guys gave us. But he put up there, fishing for opinions. It is my belief that addiction is a weakness. What do you fair people of the Bones and Tubs Nation think? Love, Bones. And we got some responses from it.
As we should.
Now, you know, Bones said that he believed that it's a weakness, and to an extent. And when I think of weakness of the mind, right?
Yeah.
Is that what we're going with?
Right.
Okay. Now, to clarify my position on the matter, because I've actually, I've done the same thing all week. I've been talking to people about it and getting their opinions on it, and trying to see people's sides of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've gotten people on both sides of it. Now, it probably all started with a certain individual that we work with at the Factory of Sadness. He started getting into it big time with people on the interwebs about it, because he had a very staunch opinion that addiction is not a disease.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, to clarify my position on the matter, here's the thing. Like, I've seen a couple memes about it where people say, they're comparing drug addiction or heroin addiction to cancer, right? Like childhood cancers especially.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You can't compare the two.
No.
There's no comparison between the two, right?
Right.
But here's the thing. At the end of the day, disease is such a broad term that it can encompass everything from cancer to, on the other side of it, which I believe addiction is a disease, but it has exceptions to the rule. It's not the same thing. It's like two different fruits, apples and oranges,
mm-hmm.
right? So, like, here's my opinion on the matter. Okay, doing heroin and being an alcoholic or being a gambler or doing any of these things, they're addictions, okay? They're symptoms of the disease. Okay. Now, the only difference is with a normal disease, you usually take medicine to help you get over it, whether it be cancer or schizophrenia or something like this. Addiction is the only one that requires you to abstain from what your body is craving.
Right.
Okay. So here's the thing. It is a weakness because a lot of people live with the feelings that they should be addicted to something, but abstain from it because their will is strong enough to. Like, I mean, in my family, I'll get into a little bit. We do have a predisposition towards addiction, but I abstain because I know I have a propensity for it. So I don't, get into it like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's still a weakness and it's still on you, but I feel like it's still a disease. It's a scourge. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and like I said before, but you can't compare it to cancer, and I never will. I'm not going to feel bad for a heroin addict the same way I feel bad for a child that's dying
of
a bone disease.
A kid that got fucking leukemia from a shitty dice roll.
Exactly. Like, at the end of the day, addiction, it's your cross. Here's the thing. At the end of the day, don't try to put it on other people. It's your cross to bear.
Yeah, I guess my problem with it being treated as an addiction is the fact that everybody loves being a victim.
Oh, yeah.
They love to be worshipped and I don't know, placated to.
I think we kind of touched on it a little bit in the last episode. Once again, before I go any further, I wanted to apologize for that last episode. We fixed the problems, as you can tell. I mean, the audio probably sounds nice and crispy clear right now. Yeah, so we fixed those problems.
Let me delve into this real quickly, just on the addiction topic, if you don't mind.
Yeah, that's fine.
Fuck me. Can't find him now. John's comment, aka the Polish Nightmare, where he basically touched on a part of it that I agree with, where it's genetic. You know, everybody has, you know, you've got like different, if you look at the genetic thing like a puzzle, everybody's puzzle is configured differently, right? Mm-hmm. And I'll touch on that a little personal note with me. Like the first time I drank a Smirnoff as a youth, I became an alcoholic by the traditional sense. Yeah. Because I wanted it all the time. Yeah. And I lived that way for like probably 10 years. Mm-hmm. Just a fucking party after a party, and with brief periods of sobriety in between. Yeah. But eventually, like, you know, you start to see things in your life fucking fall apart, you know? Like little pieces are crumbling off here and there. Mm-hmm. And you're like, this is when I make a choice. Am I going to be a fucking piece of shit for the rest of my life and just live out the party until I'm dead? Or do you fucking take control of shit?
Exactly. And I think and here's the thing, like, at the end of the day, I think, like, you know how autism, their symbol is a puzzle piece? Yeah. Because the logic being there's the missing piece. Right. Okay, I think addiction needs a puzzle piece too, because I think even if you live with addiction and know you have the proclivity to be addicted to things, you're always living without that piece.
Man the fuck up.
And that's the thing. You have to figure out how to live without that piece. Right. That's all there is to it. Like, you have to have self-control over the matter. Like, and I'm glad Bones, you know, he got real for a minute and told you his story and everything. And I mean, it's like he said, it took will and it took realization that he had to change things.
The funniest thing about it is, like, when I crossed paths with court-ordered, you know, sobriety, I guess you could say, for the 3-day class. But these motherfuckers, man, they are like, it is a big business. Mm-hmm. They love people that get in trouble for drugs and alcohol because they make crazy money off of it. And their alternative is to send you to AA or NA, right? Yeah. You want to know what one of the first few tenets of AA or NA is?
Give yourself up to a higher power or something like that?
That is one. But the other one, the one that really caught me by the button and let me know that it wasn't for me, is the fact that you have to give up. You have to say that I'm powerless against this. Yeah. No. That's a psychological trick that keeps you going in that cycle.
It makes you dependent on it. Right. You know what I mean? Because, like, now you think that this program is that piece that's missing.
That's all you need.
Here's the thing. Like, you got to take a Taoist approach to this. Right. Okay? It's about balance and things like that, right? So, understanding that you have a missing piece, you have to accept that's just what life is.
And do you think, like I said before, I feel like, and this could be wrong, it could even be addiction talk to those that are in the know, but I feel like even moderation needs moderation. Yeah. So you need sometimes, unless you're able, I'm not fully able to give things up, but I like to occasionally dabble. Yeah. Once a month.
And see, that's the thing. You've acquired the will to moderate yourself. Yeah. Where you couldn't before, you do now. Now, some people can never live like that. And that's okay.
On or off.
Because here's the thing, and I think this goes with the puzzle analogy even more, and it kind of touched on what you said before. When you have that missing puzzle piece and you try to fill it with these things, you end up losing more pieces of your puzzle.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Until you're left with nothing, and then you die. I mean, that's grim, but that's the truth. We've all seen it before. We've seen what addiction does to people, and it makes you lose the rest of it. Trying to fill that one space, that one little uneven space in your life that you can't. It's an itch you cannot. No matter how much you try to scratch it, you're never going to satisfy it.
I like the sort of a Gnostic approach to it, where they compare alcohol to spirits. You know how they give them the name? Yeah, spirits. Mm-hmm. But basically, like, you are giving up temporary custody of your body to a spirit. Yeah, it gives you pleasure and leaves you in a little playpen while it runs rampant with your body. Yeah. And that's pretty crazy. You think about, like, blackouts or times that you were operating and you weren't really operating. Yeah. I mean.
Well, and I think, like, when it comes to, like, this whole thing, I think people have tried different means of filling this piece for doubt for basically since the beginning of time. Whether it be with drugs and alcohol or with thrill or even, I'll go as far as say, religion.
Right. There's always something. People will latch onto anything.
I mean, like, it's like that. It's just the empty hole that we try to fill up with something we can't quite.
The dark chasm everybody has on their insides.
All right, and we're back.
We're back.
Okay, so anyways, and I just wanted to touch on that because I think we did get some responses from it, And we got people on both sides, but kind of giving their 2 cents on it. Now, at the end of the day, none of us are mental health professionals. So I feel like we can only give our personal experiences on our own addiction and our own feelings about it. You know what I mean?
Since you said mental health professionals, I would like to ask, do you think that how much of that is actually legitimate and how much of it do you think are just people with letters behind their names jerking each other off?
Probably more of the latter. But I think there's here's the thing. I think addiction is probably one of the lesser studied mental health issues. You know what I mean? I think there's been more money put behind other ones to figure them out than there has been addiction.
The easiest thing to do with addiction is find something that's equally addictive, make it legal, and then sell it to the addict.
Yeah.
AKA Narcan, AKA Suboxone.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say Narcan. What's the one that was before Suboxone? That's what
Methadone?
Methadone, yeah.
Yeah.
Eat a dick.
But yeah. So
anybody that's struggling with any kind of addiction too should look up ayahuasca because that is the truth. And when you find out about ayahuasca and you find out what it does and how it's safe and all that, and then ask yourself why it's a Schedule 1 drug that the government doesn't allow in the country. Food for thought.
Food for thought.
The one cure that they can't make money off of that will actually cure you from everything, but it's illegal. Why is that?
But yeah. So we just wanted to touch on that real quick.
Just real fast.
And then we were going to get right into the topics. And I think today we are going to start, of course. I mean, we put up the topics Dragnet, and that. Somebody was already on top of it, and I think you all know who it was.
St. Catherine.
St. Catherine of College Corner.
Bring out your dead.
Yes. She sent us 3. So we're going to go ahead and get on board with that and start with the first one she sent us. And it almost seems like an extension of last week's episode or the week before when Lunch Meat asked us, what would you do for $10 million?
Yeah.
And she asked us, you just won $10 million.
God.
What is your first completely useless and insanely extravagant luxury purchase? It's a 3-way tie for me.
Yeah.
And you know the weird part is I'm not even a big car guy, but all 3 of them are cars.
Really?
Well, you got to understand, it's not. These aren't regular cars.
Okay.
Okay. There's a 3-way tie between a replica Jurassic Park Jeep. I'm talking about the Wranglers. The Wranglers with they're gray with the red tops and have Jurassic Park logo on them and shit.
Of course.
And then with red rims, of course. You got to have the red rims.
Yeah.
But
can I guess one?
Okay, you guess another one.
Ghostbuster car.
The Ecto-1.
Got him.
Yep. That was the next one. Because I don't know if I've ever mentioned on the show before, but I'm a huge Ghostbusters fan. Ever since I was a wee lad, I've always loved the Ghostbusters.
I think our original Bones and Tubbs photo was you rocking a Ghostbusters outfit.
I probably
Or
was.
maybe Jurassic Park.
It was Jurassic Park.
Copy.
Yep. And then the third one is the DeLorean
Yeah.
from Back to the Future.
Yeah.
I mean, I would, of course, have it all decked out with the flux capacitor and everything else in between.
Right.
To make that thing look boss. And drive it at 88 miles an hour as many times as I possibly can without getting pulled over.
Without the engine exploding.
Yeah, that too. And the thing is, with $10 million, all of those are fully realized ideas. And the thing is, if I had $10 million, I'd probably own all 3 of those.
Yeah.
And it would be awesome. But I'd say those were my extravagant luxury purchases. I don't think you wouldn't see me in fur coats or gold chains or nothing like that.
No, that's slave mentality.
Yeah, that's silliness.
Yeah. Whips, chains.
But, yeah.
Got him.
Yeah.
Is it bad that I thought about this question for a really long time, and I don't know if it's just a defect in my personality, because if it was any other regular conversation where somebody asked me what I would legitimately do with $10 million, I would come up with only silly shit. But because she asked me what I would use it for in the silly category, I only came up with real things that I would do with it.
Oh, okay.
And none of them are probably legal.
Oh, wow.
So let's just preface it by saying allegedly, and I'm only joking.
Yeah.
But I would acquire as much ricin as I could.
Oh, okay.
And I would lace it with heroin.
Oh, okay.
On a county-wide scale.
Nice.
And I would clean the streets.
Clean the streets.
Yeah, that's number 1.
Clean these mean streets.
Yeah, I'm not street sweeper. I'm not.
Yeah, that's your superhero name.
Yeah. I'm not sure how much ricin one could acquire. I don't know anything about it. Like I said, it's all a joke. So
The problem is, I don't think you can actually legally acquire ricin without some sort of license to do so.
yeah,
And something tells me that even then, they're going to be very, very careful about how much of that they give you. Because, I mean, it only takes like a couple micrograms to take care of one person.
yeah.
So
I'm pretty sure that perked the ears of the FBI. Like I said, I'm only joking. Never do it. I don't have $10 million, and
it's not like you could just. I mean, you could just get on Google and find out how to make rice.
I wouldn't do that though.
I mean, I'm just saying. I have before. I was just curious. I wanted to see if there was literally a process you could do.
Yeah,
There is.
I saw it on Breaking Bad.
Yeah, it was on Breaking Bad, but you know, there is Google.
Yeah, Google.
But I think at the same time, the implements required to make ricin, if you were buying in quantities large enough to make it, they're gonna notice. Like,
Right.
why the fuck is this dude buying like 300 pounds of raw castor beans?
Yeah,
What does he need castor beans for?
yeah,
Unshelled castor beans at that.
exactly.
But
If we live in the land of the free, we can have free conversation, and you have free expression, which I have to assume leads to Google searches. So.
yeah.
The other one was an extension of Dave Chappelle's latest joke in his stand-up comedy tour where he bought $50,000 worth of bubble gum. I would buy $10 million worth of bubble gum and just give it out to homeless people
Give it out to homeless
so they
people.
could still be hungry.
Nice. But yeah.
And the actual legitimate silly thing, I think I would try to mix some sort of, you know how we had that large bear that we looked at?
Yeah.
I want to get like several animals
Mm-hmm.
and stuff them into one animal and make it look real.
Oh, so you want to make like a chimera?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I would like a bear with moose horns,
Oh, I could dig it.
maybe a legitimate jackalope
Mhm.
that's actually made out of like lynx body.
Nice.
But those are my three.
Okay, I could see that. I could see all those things.
Yeah.
You know, we could take our chimera jackalope creature with us in my. It'd probably fit in the Jeep.
Yeah. So we would need a Jurassic Park Jeep, and I would dress up like a superhero named the Street Sweeper.
Ooh, what about a tank?
Yeah,
Oh my God, we could buy a tank,
for real.
a Bones and Tubbs tank.
Got him.
That's going on Kickstarter too.
Yeah.
We want a truck.
Look out for a Bones and Tubbs Kickstarter and a GoFundMe.
Yeah.
Those things are in the works.
Yeah, they are in the works for certain things.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for the question, St. Catherine. We appreciate it.
It's a good one.
We're gonna hit on another topic, and we're gonna do something we actually haven't been able to do. We haven't done in a while, and that's the time break,
Time warp.
the time warp. But we're gonna hit one more topic up before the time warp. This came from Toe Beans, and she asked, topic for you guys. If you had an internal switch that you could flip on or use to feel drunk or high at any time, when and where would you use it? Also, you only have 4 uses per month. Example, you flip the switch, you're drunk, and you run its course till you're sober. Now, but yeah, that's the question.
Is it a coincidence that we only have 4 a month and there are only 4 Mondays in a month?
Exactly.
Got him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, well, I said not at work was where I wouldn't do it.
Okay.
Definitely not at work. I mean, like, here's the thing, like, I try to stay I'm always sober at work. Always sober at work.
TM. I don't know.
TM.
It just felt like a shield.
I'm going to TM that.
Yeah.
I'm always sober at work.
That's a good t-shirt idea that we just trademarked.
Yeah, now I'm going to get tested.
Yeah. I'm surprised I didn't after my baby leave.
Yeah. I'm surprised too. Wow.
No.
I'm surprised.
Till I go in today.
Yeah.
Got
Hey,
Yeah.
pee in this cup for me.
Right.
Blow into this thing.
Go in there in that closet and pee in Dave's mouth. He's going to give you a drug test.
Tastes nice and salty, but no drugs.
Dave has a soft, wet mouth.
But, anyways, I would say, like, the biggest places I would probably do it at is, like, if I went to the movies and I was seeing a particular movie that I felt like would be better under the influence, I would definitely do it there. But, and then I said sporting events, and, actually Brandon Soul, I don't have a name for Brandon Soul. He's never sent us a topic.
Oh, I've got one.
What is it?
Campbell Soup Kid.
Oh, there you go. Campbell Soup Kid said he would do it at the Reds game because he was tired of paying for $8 beers.
Yeah.
And I don't disagree with that.
No, he's a
Campbell Soup Kid.
He's on to it. He's figured it out.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely, you're shit-faced, screaming and hollering, heckling players and everyone's like, Jesus, what the fuck did that guy do before the game?
Yeah. He flipped the switch.
Yeah, he flipped his fucking switch. That's exactly what he did.
I like to think you could have both of those switches, drunk and high. You could flip them both at the same time, be dry as fuck,
Oh, man.
walk around like...
It might be too much.
Yeah. Takes
But,
me back to a kinder, gentler, unemployed time.
Yeah. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? But I would definitely use the switch.
Yeah.
I mean, and you know, I was talking to Tobeans about it, and she said, what if, like, you accidentally hit the switch? Like, what if, like, say you were at work and a stressful event happens, and you're like, God, I wish I was drunk right now.
Oops.
And all of a sudden, you
Yeah.
hit the switch, and now you're drunk.
I would just say that there are no accidents.
Enjoy the rest of the shift, asshole.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I would definitely, this would be awesome. Because, like, here's the thing. I used to be able to drink at a more, accelerated pace. But nowadays, after, 7 or 8 years, I don't drink that much anymore. So, like, when I do, like, I can't drink that much because it doesn't take much for me to get drunk anymore. I bought, like, a couple weeks ago, I bought, like, a small, like, single bottle of rum, and I drank that whole bottle, and I was destroyed.
Yeah.
But, when we're talking, like, 5 or 6 years ago, I could have bought a bottle of rum and polished that off, like a whole bottle, like a fifth of rum, and polish that thing off by myself, no probs.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely enjoy having that as a thing to have.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good time. Thanks for the question, Tobeans.
I would definitely only use it on Mondays.
Just on Mondays?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you have 4 of them, so you got to use them sparingly.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
If she'd have said 3, I'd be like, I don't know.
Mm.
Whenever it strikes me, but 4, automatically Mondays.
Yep. Always on Monday. But yeah, so thanks for the question, Tobeans. We appreciate it. And yes, we would in fact do it. And as Bone said, probably on Mondays. Always on Mondays.
Until we're no longer at the Factory of Sadness. I don't know. I often wonder about what my life will be like when I'm working in an IT closet, making sure that the humidity stays at 70%.
Yeah.
Am I still going to chew tobacco? Am I still going to crave murder?
Maybe.
I don't know.
You might, but then you're going to have to find different outlets for it.
Yeah.
Maybe strange and unknown outlets for your needs.
Why do we keep finding all these dead animals in the closet?
Hostile stay 70 degrees, 70% humidity in here.
Yeah.
The dead animals help.
Exactly.
But yeah, thanks for the question, Tobeans. And I think now is about time for the old-fashioned time warp that we haven't done in a long time.
Let's do the time warp again.
Yeah, it's time for that time warp. All right, well, we'll see. It'll feel like mere seconds to you, but it's going to be basically an entire 24-hour cycle for us. But so we'll see you on the flip side.
We love you.
We really do. And we're back from the time warp, everybody. See, it was very painless for all of you. Anyways, in the meantime, since we've been gone, FBI Director Comey was fired.
Yeah.
So that's interesting, right?
I'll
I mean-
say he lied under oath.
Something like that. And it's funny, everyone, like, it's just, nobody's afraid to show their true colors anymore because, like, all the people that hate Trump are instantly like, there's something fishy going on here. There's something up. What's up with this? Even though, like, last year during the election, they were all like,
Fuck Comey.
fuck Comey, he
He's a
needs to
bitch.
resign, da-da-da. Yeah, shut up, bitch.
If Trump was trying to cover something up, I think the news headlines would have been slightly different. It would have been like, Comey dies of a heart attack. Comey dies in a car accident.
Although, I did see a funny tweet that tickled my funny bone. It was by a fake James Comey FBI director tweet.
Yeah.
I said tweet. Tweet.
Twit.
It said, it started out normal, like, hey, I'm glad to have had this position to work for the FBI for X amount of years. I wish everybody luck, and da-da-da-da. And then at the end he says, the pissing videos are real.
Fantastic.
But yeah, so I figured we'd throw that out there, kind of timestamp this episode for everybody who's listening out there.
Yes.
And, there was one other thing I wanted to bring up before, I wanted to bring it up at the beginning of the episode, but I totally just blanked on it. And I wanted to ask our audience, how's it feel?
How do you feel about it?
How you feel about it? What, you might ask? Well, that X-rays worth of radiation that you got from Fukushima.
Feels good.
Because right now, everybody in the world has now received an X-ray's worth of radiation from the Fukushima reactor disaster.
I wish radiation was like Fallout, where you could, at least the first Fallout that I played, I don't remember which one, but you could drink enough of it or get enough radiation poisoning to where it healed you.
You had to get a perk for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was I can't remember what the perk's called, and people are going to kill me for not remembering, but there's a perk.
You're not a true fan.
Yeah, there's a perk where the higher your radiation levels go, the stronger you become.
Man.
But yeah, so
It's a shame that real life's not that way.
I hope you guys all enjoyed that nice healthy dose of X-ray radiation you've been looking for.
I know I did.
But I guess we get back onto the topics here. Next one comes from a new contributor. I didn't know what else to call her other than Mama Tubbs, because that's who she is. She's my mommy.
Yes.
She's my mommy. She says the question, which is kind of surprising. I know she listens, which at first I was kind of hesitant about her listening to the show, but then I was like, you know what? Fuck it. My mom's probably heard me say worse in my time.
Right.
But yeah, so Mama Tubbs sent us a question, and it says, if you go back and redo a year of grade or high school, what grade would you redo and why? Yeah, that's a good question. I thought about it, and it's like, for some reason, I thought Mama Tubbs had an ulterior motive for this, because there was a year where some bad shit happened to me, and it was on my own account. And
You
maybe
better answer this one right.
that I should go back and redo that year. And the funny part is then I started thinking about it more, and you know what? I wish I could go back and redo that year. And I picked my junior year of high school. Other than the fact that, yes, I got into trouble my junior year of high school really bad.
Was that junior year?
I think it was junior year.
Man.
Yeah, it was junior year. But we got into trouble really bad. I got into trouble really bad. And, I'm not proud of what I did. I can just say it. It was thievery at a gas station.
Oh, we were freshmen when that happened.
We weren't freshmen.
No?
No.
Okay.
We were either sophomores or juniors.
Junior year, sorry.
We might have been going into junior year.
I'm back.
But anyway, so, because remember, Adam and all them were the seniors that year.
That's right.
So, but yeah, so, I'd say junior year, but then I started thinking about it more, and junior year is where, okay, this is where, that's when you really start getting is intense with your counselor, and they start pressing you for what you want to do, what you want to pursue.
Well, if they think you have a future. I never talk to mine.
But that year, I remember going to the counselor, and initially I started out thinking, at that point, I wanted to go into a career in corrections. Or not corrections. No.
Yeah. No.
Didn't want to go. I messed that up. No, I want to get into communications. So like radio and stuff like that.
Podcast before they were a thing.
Exactly. And that's the route I was beginning to take. And I was going to go to our local college to take communications. They had a good communications program. And she had set me up with a tour and all that stuff. And then I was having a conversation with one of my old friends one day. And, I mean, this guy's cool. I'm not trying to dog him or nothing. But it kind of changed my course. I was talking to him, and he was like, I was talking about communications and stuff. He's like, people with a voice as deep as yours really can't do radio, right? And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, people who do radio have higher pitched voices than you do.
I like to say things so people think I sound smart.
Yeah, and at this time, I took this friend's opinion into a high account. He was a really good friend of mine. So when he said this, it kind of disheartened me.
Does his last name rhyme with Pincher?
It does.
I see.
But it disheartened me, and I'm not blaming him for it, because this is the thing. It took me probably at least another decade to learn that, there are people's opinions in your life that matter, but if you really truly feel something in your heart, go after it. And it's one of those things where, I fell into peer pressure and fell into someone else's notions of what I should be doing and what would be good for me or bad for me. And the thing is, it's I don't regret anything. But if I would have continued to pursue that communications ideology and that way, I would be much further down that road now. Instead of just now figuring out, oh my fucking God, I love being, not on the radio, but I love podcasting. And this is what I like to do. Mm-hmm. Instead of spending a decade wandering like a fucking kung fu warrior.
Right. Modern day samurai.
Yeah, more or less.
I get it.
But yeah, so I'd say junior year. Because I could go back and be like, yeah, I want to do communications, and I want to keep doing communications because I think this is what I really want to do with my life. I have a face for radio.
Well, if you could go back, I'm assuming we would have all the experiences we have now.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah.
You would know what was going to happen. So you couldn't, I mean, I assume most people wouldn't completely fuck up their timeline, like, especially when you have children. As far as I'm concerned, any notions that you could go back in time and change things are kind of like lightweight dashed away once you have children. Because it's like, well, no, because if I go back in time, I'm going to have to try to repeat some of the things I did so that I have my kid.
You don't want to, yeah.
Yeah. But then you end up, yeah, it becomes a sticky situation. But yeah, what grade would you like to go back and repeat?
Senior year.
Senior year.
It's funny that the bane of my existence became my hardest passion in life when that was government. I hated government class.
Yeah.
And I just wish I could go back and retake it and just hit it all and see what my newfound theories would do to the government teacher. Probably stroke out.
I think she would. In all reality, the government teacher we had, she was pretty cool. I mean, she was of the kind of moderate Democrats.
Yeah,
I would say, like, she was a realist. She understood that, like, no matter what you do, corporations are always going to make money, and politicians are always going to try to make money off of them.
Every time I remember her in my memories, she's smoking a cigarette.
Oh, yeah.
I've never seen her smoke a cigarette, but I know that every time I think back to that government class, she was flicking a cigarette.
I saw her once.
Yeah.
It was at school. Because, I hung out in the ag department. The ag department was right next to the teacher's butt hut.
Yeah.
And I was an aide for ag, so I just kind of wandered around and did as I pleased.
Right.
And I saw her and a couple other teachers a few times out there poofing.
I'd also like to hit up Eichelberger.
Yeah.
Is that his name?
Yeah, that was him. Yeah. Well, I think, like, with the governmental knowledge you have now, you could possibly throw him through a loop. But you got to remember, when this shit was when we were that age, like, 9/11 was still a fairly new thing.
Mm.
So imagine going back then to, like, even just 2001, right after it happened, and be like, you know what? This is fucking rigged.
Fake.
They would suspend you.
What if I went back to, what was 2001? Was that 8th grade? 9th grade?
We were in 9th grade in 2001, yeah.
If I chose not to skip school that day, and when they turned the TVs on, I just said, fake news.
Yeah.
Fake.
Fake news.
How does this make you feel? Jet fuel cannot burn steel beams.
Yeah.
Cannot melt them.
But, like, I don't see it. But back then, nobody was wanting to hear any of this. The
Right.
first time I started hearing about alternative viewpoints of 9/11, God, that had to have been after 2006, 2007 was when I first started hearing about it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when my world started to turn, too, because then you start looking into the stuff, and you're like, yeah, you know what? They're kind of right. A lot of this stuff doesn't add up.
Oh, my God.
So, like, did you see that they got John Kerry on record saying something about how Building 7 was taken down by...
Controlled demolition?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It was like, I think it wasn't supposed to be something that was said in an interview, but it was accidentally said, maybe.
Got him.
Got him.
I remember my political awakening happened. I don't remember exactly when it was, the year, but I do remember it was in Steinkeller's bathroom. I was halfway into my second pint of Optimize, or what is it called?
Optimator.
Optimator, yeah. And I go in to do the necessary, and I'm standing at the urinal, and I'd already had some thoughts floating around in my head about, real life and how we're lied to on a daily basis.
Yeah.
But this guy, like, was doing the necessary to my left, and he just looked over at me and was like, how many buildings fell in 9/11? And I was like, 2. And he said, 3. And he walked out. And I remember going back to the booth, nursing the Optimator and Googling it. I was changed forever.
That was when the world turned for you.
Yeah.
See, mine, I don't know. Mine was a stranger evolution. It wasn't like an illumination moment. It was more like a slow transition into realization where I originally, as a young lad, like let's say middle school, thought I was a conservative just because of, entitlement programs and stuff like that and how I felt about them.
Mm.
But then I could start continuing down the path, but then social issues started to come up more as we got older. And the way I felt about social issues, I started to think, oh, well, I must be a liberal then if I feel this way. Because I don't really fit in with these conservatives with my views about, gay marriage and shit like that.
You mean I can't be socially liberal and fiscally conservative?
Well, the libertarian notions hadn't come up yet. That's the problem. Like, I hadn't discovered that there was other options other than red or blue, Republican or Democrat.
Seeds have been planted.
Yeah. So like, transition continued. I mean, fuck, in 2004, I was going to John Kerry rallies and all sorts of shit. I was a hardcore liberal, but I thought I was a hardcore liberal Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
And then a couple more years go by, and I think that's the first time I started hearing about libertarianism and how there was another way. Like, there was another way to do things. I was different than what you would classically call a liberal or a conservative. And I think in hindsight, most people are. They just don't take the time to realize they don't think in those left or right notions either.
A lot of people are comfortably asleep. That line from The Matrix really rings with me still to this day, that a lot of people don't want to be woken up and they'll fight you in order to stay asleep. I remember going to a Kerry rally in Eaton. I don't remember if you were with me or not.
No, I went to one in Dayton.
This is Sean and the Polish Nightmare and Ben Cucker. He was there. And somebody was going through the crowd, and he was doing what he thought was handing out the red pill of truth, right?
Yeah.
So we're all in this group of, liberals, and this cat's just walking through handing out pamphlets. And I didn't even take the time to look at it until I left, but he was handing out, like, you're going to burn in hell if you vote for John Kerry because he murders babies.
Oh, those types.
Yeah.
They still exist, too.
Kenny Chappell's dad.
Oh, okay.
His name is Kenny Chappell.
Yeah, now it makes more sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for the question, Mama Tubbs. Next question comes from St. Catherine of College Corner, of course, again.
Peace be upon her.
Peace be upon her. Her candle is lit for the second day.
Yes.
And she said, write your own constitutional amendment that you feel should be enacted immediately. Mine was, I had a couple ideas. And here's where it started. I started thinking about this. I was like, do I really want to add anything to the Constitution? Do I want to make more rules for us to abide by? But then I thought, not rules for us. Rules for governors or government.
The whole reason the Constitution was enacted in the first place?
Yeah. So this is what I came up with. I said, the government does not have the right to impose taxes without the consent of the people through voting. And I also said, no raises for politicians without a vote from the people. They wouldn't be allowed to continue to give themselves raises. Because honestly, who's going to deny themselves a raise?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, all political tax returns must be transparent. So, like, literally posted online their W-2s. And so you know exactly how much money they're making and where it's coming from. I think that's fair, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, if you've entered into politics and you've entered the public sphere, I feel like you willfully giving up your right to have privacy and secrecy when it comes to financial matters.
Yeah.
I mean, even as a libertarian, I could say that.
Right, you brought yourself in there. You should be transparent.
Not only like your current W-2s, but every W-2, every tax form you've ever had going back.
If you want to make money, if you want to make a healthy lifestyle amount of money, at the taxpayer's burden, you should be completely transparent.
Yeah. Well, I mean, think about it. If politicians' tax returns would have been transparent, people would know for sure if Marcone really was just a Rothschild banker before he became a politician.
Yeah.
Instead of people just speculating.
Right. Well, apparently they didn't give a shit about their government.
Yeah.
Or their countrymen.
Well, the thing is, it's like, I could see where people were coming, because the craziest part is, technically, Le Pen didn't even come in third, or come in second. She came in third behind people who completely abstained from voting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they voted, but they didn't vote for either candidate because they didn't want to give either one a mandate.
Now, is it just American media hitting us with a fear campaign, or is it actually true that they've, had to turn off the light in the Eiffel Tower and it's, been on fire a few times from the amount of, Muslim nonsense going on over there?
I don't know how much of that is true or not. Honestly, I didn't hear anything about that. That's the first time I'm hearing anything about it.
You seen the pictures of the streets where it's, laden with trash? And
yeah, I've seen,
filth?
Basically they've turned the streets of Paris into, slums.
Right.
And there's just half-naked people sleeping everywhere. I mean, but the thing is, at the end of the day, okay, they either had to vote for Macron, not vote at all, or vote for Le Pen. Now, here's the thing. In all reality, let's face it, Le Pen was like Trump on steroids when it comes to nationalism. She's one little tiny bit shy away from Hitler-esque nationalism, ethnic cleansing type of nationalism. And the thing is, it's even if I was French, it would be a bitter pill to swallow to vote for her. Because I didn't really, I looked at some of her policies. I'm not the biggest fan. You know what I mean? But the problem is the political climate right now might require somebody with a little bit more
Zest.
yeah, a little more zest. Because here's the thing about Marcone, and I don't know if this is completely true or not. I saw a quote by him, and I hope it's not true, because if this is true, he said, considering the amount of racism going on in Europe, I do not doubt how much. I do not blame Muslims for the amount of terror attacks that are about to happen. So he basically said that we deserve these.
Okay.
We'll remember that.
Yeah, that's cute.
But yeah, that was my notion. Was it had to do with, one, they couldn't tax us without our consent. Because I feel that even like as a libertarian, even in that notion, if they like say it's like just like a tax levy, they put it to a national vote. Do you want to raise the income tax by this percent for poor people, this percent for rich people, this percent in the middle, and vote on it? I feel like most of them get voted down, but if you had like a wave of altruism hit the country, you would have people voting for a tax levy.
Right.
But
I would, I know a lot of people aren't going to like this, but I enjoy it. They're not going to like it because it increases the amount of personal responsibility that every American has.
okay.
But I would impose a constitutional amendment that completely gets rid of senators, congressmen, and the president. Everybody has to vote on every issue that comes up. We would have a board that brings the issues forward. You would have to vote online. I remember hearing about this on the Joe Rogan show, and it made a lot of sense to me. If you can bank online, you can vote online.
Exactly.
It can't be tampered with. Everybody should take responsibility. We should stop looking for someone to lead us. That's why we're fucked right now, because it doesn't matter. You get fucked for 4 to 8 years from one party and you switch to the other party hoping it's going to get better. You're just looking for a leader who's going to do nothing but serve themselves.
Well,
Take responsibility for your own life.
the only thing I could see requiring someone centralized, ultimately, like that would work in the day to day.
Yeah.
But some like if there's an emergency or like say we get invaded,
Right.
we can't put that to a collective vote to decide where we're sending our troops and all that jazz.
Right.
We have to actually. I mean, it's just like Rome did. You have to elect somebody to take charge.
Well, it's like the board idea. You'd have a hive mind in the executive office. But the reason we have congressmen and senators originally came because they had to travel to Washington.
Yeah.
By fucking horseback.
Exactly. Everything, our ability to communicate was so much slower back then that you required representation.
You don't need that shit anymore.
No. And you know what? You're kind of right about that. So basically, your amendment would be one that would dissolve the two branches of the government.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't think... All it does is, one, it serves to divide and conquer the American people.
Yeah.
Puts them at odds on everything. Put everything to a national vote. You can only blame yourself if you didn't vote.
Yeah.
Or if, you didn't do your proper
That's true.
knowledge.
Yeah.
Education, rather.
But,
I'm so sick of this shit.
but thanks for the question, St. Catherine. Our next one comes from Elmo. Hey, Elmo, it's good to see you again.
We missed you.
He wanted us to talk about, I guess they're called the trans disabled.
Yeah, he just told me about this one thing yesterday, which I'll update you on, and he can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But I heard him say something about a singer who's now classified as a tri-bi.
I saw that. And I didn't know that, like, because she said she's bisexual, bipolar, and I can't remember the third one.
Yeah.
But all I know is when did we decide that bipolar wasn't a mental health issue, and was actually a form of sexuality?
Everything is everything,
Yeah.
to quote popular 90s rap music.
But here's the thing, like, I've always been about chasing your bliss and doing what you want to do to make yourself happy.
Right.
But here's the thing. If you're going, first of all, I want to meet the doctor who decided, okay, I'll go ahead and cut your leg off for you because suddenly you've decided that your leg doesn't belong.
We talked about the other transabled before, didn't we, on the show with the lady that went to the psychologist and he poured acid in her eyes to make her blind?
Yeah, we talked about that before.
Isn't the Hippocratic Oath, is that still a thing?
Yeah, it's still a thing.
Do no harm.
Well, see, that's the thing. It's very broad, and the problem is that one doctor will say, well, putting acid in your patient's eyes is doing harm. If it's not being, like, it's counterproductive, right?
Yeah.
But another one would say, well, it's doing more harm because psychologically speaking, she doesn't want to have the ability to see anymore. So it's based on, it's up for interpretation based on from doctor to doctor. But here's the thing. If I was a doctor, I'm going to go ahead and gauge that as doing harm. And I'm going to go ahead and write them referral to a psychologist because I'm a medical doctor.
Yeah.
And my job is to keep your body safe and
Right.
keep your body right. It ain't to keep your mind right.
I can't justify pouring acid. Don't put salt in your eye. Don't put salt in your eye. Don't put salt in your eye.
like, here's the thing. And at the end of the day, even if you do decide, well, I don't want legs. I'm done with legs. Cut them off. And the doctor does it. I don't think you should get any benefits from it.
No fucking way.
No fucking way.
No.
I think you should even go one step further. I don't think you should be allowed to have a handicap sticker
No.
or none of that. You made those choices.
You chose this life.
You chose this life. You chose to be disabled.
Right.
Like, and the thing, and I feel a soapbox moment coming on here.
Got the soapbox.
I know people who are disabled, and this is such a mockery to them because these people would love to have bodies that actually work
Right.
properly, and they'd like to be able to walk and even have employment. That's the problem, is a lot of them can't even be employed because people won't hire them.
Yeah.
And that's the worst part. And they want to work hard, and they want to make money, but they can't. And these assholes are trying to fucking...
Skate the system. Yeah.
It just kills me, man.
It's fucked.
Like, I know, I don't want to get into specifics about, there's a couple people I know that would love to be employed, but they can't even get a job because of their ability. And I know, like, out there you'd be like, well, how does that make sense? Because you can't discriminate based on abilities. Yeah, you can.
Right.
You can. Now, listen, they'll give you an interview, but that's probably about as far as it goes.
Yeah. Thanks for coming. We'll give you a call.
Because they either, A, they don't know how intelligent you are, or B, they don't know, they don't want to have to carry the extra insurance to have you on as an employee.
Right.
So.
Ooh-wee. Can I take a second to hijack this in another direction? Everybody keeps asking, and myself included, keeps saying, what the fuck is going on in society? Right? What's the root cause of all of it? If you could boil it down to one single seed that spawned this fucked up plant that we're all looking at, right? I think I figured it out.
What is it?
We've talked about it before. Sodium fluoride.
Okay.
Okay?
I was going to say oversharing. Because that's the thing. I think, you could continue. I'll get with the oversharing here in a minute.
Okay. Well, just everybody should do their own research, make their own decisions. But you can look it up. Sodium fluoride was first used by Adolf Hitler in the concentration camps. And I'm pretty sure, I'm not a historian. I'm pretty sure, though, that Hitler didn't do it because he gave a fuck about the Jews' teeth.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's because it does everything that it's proven to do. Make you docile, lower your IQ, cause cancer, and make you infertile. And I would have to assume make you think it's okay to get your fucking legs cut off.
Yeah.
So go ahead and Google that. Maybe you can go to Walmart and buy some fluoride-free Tom's toothpaste.
Well,
wake the fuck up.
I think this shit just happens because, here's the thing. Okay, I think that it's very in mode. It's very chic right now to have a problem. Like, everybody has a problem. You wear it on your sleeve too, so you let everybody know you have a problem.
It's like Flair.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is, this isn't the first time in society this has happened. Back when tuberculosis was still a thing, it was very chic to make yourself look like you had tuberculosis. So people wouldn't ask because it was impolite to ask if you had it. But you were very thin, frail, and pale. That was the look, because that was the tuberculosis look that people had.
Jumping.
And you would carry a handkerchief with fucking roses sewn into it so it looked like blood. Because everybody wanted to have a problem, apparently. And I think we've kind of hit another phase of that where everybody wants to have a problem and wants to share their problem with the world.
Yeah.
Instead of I'm not saying because some people can't hide their problems. But the thing is, at the end of the day, don't come to me and say you're tripolar.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Maybe kill yourself.
If I was interviewing somebody and they're like, I'm tripolar, I'd be like,
we'll give you a call.
I didn't ask you. I didn't ask.
Yeah.
I think it's illegal to ask somebody about their sexual preferences and their mental health.
Right.
That's just me.
Yeah, we don't care. But that's easy to say because we're cisgendered white men.
Yeah.
And we're the patriarchy and the problem.
Hold on. We should change the name of our show to the Mansplaining Hour. Because I think there's people out there that just sit there and curl their fingers under their chairs and get super triggered by us because we're just two cisgendered males trying to explain our worldview. I
wish that some of you in the Bones and Tubs Nation would go out of your way to share this show with SJW pages just so we can watch them writhe.
Yeah.
I want hate.
I get power from that.
Yeah, I drink it, actually. Yeah. Some people drink tears. I drink hatred, raw hatred.
Yeah.
Please.
So spicy.
Please just take the link and send it to somebody that you know is going to be triggered by it. Maybe screenshot the conversation.
But thanks for the question, Elmo. And
Thank you.
we got another one coming down the pipe. I think next week, since we had a bad episode with Dr. Doug Hurdy.
AKA Demons in the Wire.
Yeah, Demons in the Wire. That's what we're calling that episode, that debauch.
Yeah.
Terrible episode. We apologize again for that. Anyways, we're probably going to have Dr. Doug Hurdy on the show again, like next week, so he could be on again. And Elmo, we are going to discuss a topic that you want us to talk about.
Yes.
But we're not going to get into it in this show.
Right.
This show, we have 2 more topics to get through. The next one comes from, he wouldn't give me a name, and I told him, give me a name, please, because I'm going to give you a name, and you're probably not going to like it. And he's like, what's the name? And I gave it to him, and he's like, you know what? No, fuck it, I like it.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going with, and I think I kind of like it too. And this comes from the Polish Nightmare.
Ah, yes.
The Polish Nightmare asks, the threat of an EMP attack from North Korea, can we also get some survival tips just in case it does happen? So what he's asking is, what's the possibility that we're going to get an EMP attack from North Korea?
Well, I did read a story the other day that they think that the, I believe that we've been hacking the nuclear bombs, or the
missiles
that they've been shooting. But one of them made it up to, it was like 70-something kilometers, which is the optimal distance for an EMP blast.
Yeah.
All they did was launch it and blow it up, and that was a success. So if they were testing to launch an EMP, they succeeded.
Yeah, I was watching something the other day, though, and they were saying, they were talking about an EMP and what the possibilities for an EMP would bring to us. And they said that more than likely, if someone blasted a nuclear bomb into our atmosphere, they said, yes, it would cause an EMP electromagnetic pulse, for all of you who don't know what an EMP is. And they said that, the old doomsday scenario was it would just shut down the entire continental grid.
Mm-hmm.
Most people are saying now, it probably won't shut down the whole grid. It's going to shut down some shit.
Yeah.
But when we're talking about the United States as a fairly large country with a lot of space, and you have to take into account other magnetic interference, all those things, they said, it would shut some shit down, but it wouldn't completely shut the grid down.
It would definitely cause nationwide panic, chaos.
Oh, of course. I mean, a nuclear bomb just went off in our atmosphere.
Right.
I mean, that's to be expected at this point.
I think it would also cause an exodus, mass exodus of people leaving an area to go to another area.
Yeah.
So you would have state-to-state refugees.
So you have to be prepared. When you talk about preparation, I mean, a lot of you out there already know are kind of lightweight prepper. I don't call myself a prepper per se. I prepare myself in case of an emergency.
It's insurance. You can, eat, stuff like that.
But I'm not, building a bunker or anything like that. I just have a few days supply. Well, not a few days. I have at least a couple of weeks supplies of food and water to tie myself over. I'm an avid shooter, so I have weapons. Because those are going to be important too, like you said, with an exodus. Because historically speaking, when people attempt a mass exodus from one area to another, it never really happens peacefully.
Right.
Rarely.
Yeah.
Like that.
I'll give him my several steps that I'm going to employ. Step 1, you're probably not going to hear about it because the power's going to be off.
Yeah.
Depending on if it hits here or not.
Yeah.
Your power's off. Your cell phone doesn't turn on. My first step is to walk outside and watch for a fucking plane.
Yeah.
That's going to crash into my body. I'm going to avoid that plane. After about 5-10 minutes of not getting hit by a plane, I'm going to attempt to start my car because apparently it's a dice roll. Your car may or may not start. If it does start, I'm going to go to the nearest pharmacy. I'm going to rob it.
I'll rob the fuck out of it.
I'm going to take antibiotics.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to go rob somewhere that has water, food, and baby formula.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to collect said family, and we're going to go somewhere outside of the small town that I live in.
Yeah. Well, I have plans to where I'm going, but I'm going to be honest with Bones the Tubbs Nation. I'm not willing to tell you where I'm going.
Yeah, I didn't say either.
Let's just say the countryside.
Yeah.
With a good vantage point.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna go ahead and wait this one out. Because the place I got in mind, I mean, everybody out there should have a plan, but the place I got has well water, generator, and plenty of room.
Plenty of line of sight.
Yeah, that's all you need to know.
Nice LOS.
I mean, a lot of people out there listening know me. They know what I'm talking about, but I'm not just gonna divulge that information willfully.
No.
But
no.
Yeah, you just be prepared. Just have some medicine, have some water, some food. Be ready. You might have to fight because, like you said, if there's a mass exodus. It's the same scenario if the volcano under Yosemite finally just decided to fucking rupture and spew its fucking hot, fucking steamy jets of fucking lava all over the place.
Yeah, it's hot, steamy love
Yeah.
all over our faces.
Blow that load all over the continental United States.
Pow.
True money shot on us. I feel a similar scenario would play out. You would have a huge exodus of people from the Midwest pouring from either going east or going west to get away from it. And we would see some more of that action. But, yeah.
Think of all the nuclear power plants that aren't going to be getting power. We'll just have nationwide Fukushimas.
Yeah. So you get more doses of radiation this time.
It's great.
It's good, isn't it?
I think it's either going to be North Korea, China, or Russia, because I just read another story that Russia, they believe, has launched submarines in the past since the Cold War.
Yeah.
And they are, like, surrounding the East Coast, perhaps.
Nice.
Sleepers, waiting to launch a bomb.
Yeah. It might happen.
Whatever.
But yeah, thanks for the question, the Polish Nightmare.
If you don't like the Polish Nightmare, we can call you Iceman.
Yeah.
But if you
See,
don't,
that's what I wanted him to say, but he wouldn't say it.
you had to have him say it.
Yeah, I had to have him say it. You have to give up that information willfully to me, and he didn't. So, the Polish Nightmare, if you want your name changed to Iceman like I thought you would give me, go ahead and do that. But yeah, so thanks for the question. Keep them coming. We like questions like that. And we know you are a bastion of knowledge, so.
Yes.
Okay, so last topic of the day, of course, it's a St. Catherine College Corner question. Because that, I tell you what, like, every time I put the topics Dragnet out there, is no doubt in my mind that not even a half hour after I throw it up, St. Catherine's got at least 3 in the barrel.
Yeah, ready in the pipe.
Ready? Yeah, there you go. I fucked it up.
No problem.
But,
Teamwork.
she asked, what next great scientific mystery do you most hope will be solved in your lifetime?
I've got 2.
I've got 1.
Okay.
I said faster than light speed being possible,
Yeah.
which means that we would be able to travel great distances across space and, fuck other planets.
Yeah.
Because that's what I want. If my biggest fear is that our species isn't going to survive.
You want us to launch giant metal dicks and come people all over other planets?
Yep.
Okay.
That's what I want to happen.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah. That's, there's, for the most part, the science on that has been proved. It's the matter of the engine, to create the engine that would do it.
Mm-hmm.
Which we haven't figured that out yet.
If we don't live on a dome. Prison planet.
That's true.
Copy.
But then there's different things going on. If we actually live on a dome or a flat earth, there is some fuck shit going on.
Yeah.
That would lead us to a more spiritual place, I think.
Yeah.
But,
Boom.
yeah. Okay, so what's your scientific mysteries?
1 is cheap water desalination.
Okay.
The other is, because we are surrounded by salt water.
Yeah.
Pretty much everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, I guess, the visible ocean's only 1/3 of the actual ocean.
Yeah.
Because it's 2/3 underground.
I think so, yeah.
So, free drinking water. Nobody would be dying of dehydration, what have you.
Yeah. I think that's the next,
They've made some moves with graphene, which is a really thin.
I've seen that. It's like carbon filament or something like that.
It's pretty expensive, though, right now.
Yeah. But it's in its infancy.
Right.
They'll figure out better ways. But, well, I mean, I think, like, a lot of people started to predict that once our dependency on oil it's starting to wane already.
Mm.
They said once it's completely over and our reliance on fossil fuels is over, the next big war is going to be over water.
Yeah, water or sand.
Yeah. So.
Dr. Doug Hurdy turned me on to a documentary called Sand Wars that blew my fucking mind.
Nice.
Check it out.
Check it out. I'll have to check it out. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, you'll be like, what the fuck?
But what's the second one?
I already believe that they have free energy systems, but I would like that to be publicly available.
And that's another thing where,
Tesla had that shit on lockdown in the fucking late 1800s, early 1900s.
Yeah. Well, Tesla was a boss and an altruist who believed that, like, these are things that humanity should collectively share.
Mm-hmm.
But then, of course, when there's money to be made, people are going to make that money.
Office fires happen.
Yeah. So, but, they are creating, like, these mini, fusion reactors?
Mm.
Like, they're starting to pop up. And, they're a lot safer than nuclear reactors. And it's basically harnessing, like, a miniature sun inside of some sort of machine.
Yeah,
Seen photos of them. They look interesting, and they're starting to crop up in Europe. We haven't seen any here yet,
of course not.
but it's going to become probably the closest thing we're going to get to free energy.
Mm-hmm.
And it might even tie into my question about faster than light speed, traveling at faster than light, because the one thing they do know is however we figure out how to do it, it's going to require vast sums of energy to travel that fast.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to figure out our ways to make those amounts of energy.
I think these things are already widely available. They're just controlled.
It's possible.
The Nazis were already working on this shit. I mean, Tesla was before the Nazis.
Yeah.
So, I mean, It's just gone underground. We're being taxed, fleeced like sheep.
Yeah. Well, then maybe they're just waiting for the right moment to push the button on this one.
After they kill off 90% of us and then allow the rest of us to live as sentient,
Yeah.
sovereign humans.
Maybe keep the gene pool clean. Keep enough of us alive just to keep their gene pool going good.
Yeah, give them a little selection.
But yeah, so thanks for the topic, St. Catherine. I think this does it for this episode of Bones and Tubs. Check out our Facebook page, Bones and Tubs on Facebook. Check out our website, www.bonesandtubs.com. An episode is posted every week. You can check us out on iTunes, Stitcher, Beyond Pod. A new LL drops every week.
Boom.
Check that out too, by St. Even.
Nice.
We'd like to thank Ryan Simpson for letting us use his music in our show.
Got him.
Check out our Patreon page. We've had a couple new donors here recently, but we always like to thank them, Jess, Kate, Evelyn, and
Agorist girl.
and Agorist Girl, and apparently Mama Tubbs when she figures out Patreon.
Nice.
But
I
yeah.
just want to request that people think about the amount of money they spend on things they don't really like.
Yeah.
How many times have you gone to Speedway and bought some fucking roller dog or some shitty coffee and you're like, God damn it, a waste of my money.
Wish I had something that was premium.
Yeah. You could just take that money and put it into Patreon, like say a couple dollars a
Yeah.
month. You wouldn't even notice it was gone. And
Exactly.
it would mean the world to us.
Yeah.
Help us get our new, new steps.
Yeah. Microtransactions.
Yes. I'm also going to set up a Bitcoin wallet
No.
because I hear people like to donate Bitcoin.
Oh. Well, that's nice.
And that shit's jumping, so buy Bitcoin.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys for listening to the show. We hope to hear from you guys next week, and we'll see you then.
We love you.
We really do.
Doors closing.
has been